Hello and welcome back to Precision Blash and to another video where I'm uploading some prescription files into a sprayer. Now this particular sprayer has thrown quite a few issues for a number of my colleagues, but also for some of the dealer networks and the manufacturer itself. Now to touch on that just ever so slightly, the manufacturer's booklet, the operator's manual, that should be our Bible when we're uploading anything into these screens, it actually stipulates that it needed a CPG file. Now I'll debunk that straight away. We've got generic shapefile straight out of Omnia into this particular terminal. So what I'm wanting to do today is to take you on the journey of how we've actually managed to do that. So come with me whilst we download the shapefile and then we'll jump into the cab. Great, now that we have our USB stick in the bottom of the terminal, there are actually two ports, so feel free to use either or. It doesn't really matter too much which port we use for the USB, it will recognize it in both ports. Right, so the next port of call is to see whether we can upload our shape files. So to do so, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to head down to this spanner that's on the right hand side of our screen. I'm going to tap on the spanner and you can see some options that come up. In here, what I want to do is I want to choose the Fieldmaster setup because in there resides our variable rate control. So down at the bottom, option 4 on the left hand side of your screen, you can see VRA setup. I want to choose that to see the files that are on there. Now, on this left hand side, you will see files that have already been uploaded, whereas on the right hand side of the screen it looks as if it's grayed out at the moment, but if we tap on import, you can see that this second field or second round of shapefile, shall we say, 3 fields now reside in those VR maps. Now if I tap on view, I can actually have a look at that variable rate application just to see what that looks like. Now once we've done that and we've sense checked that, that is absolutely fine. I'm going to tap on create field. I'm going to tap on accept. So the next stage of actually launching this particular plan, now that we've uploaded it into the terminal, is to actually go across to our sprayer. Now that's this tab here. It takes us down back to our sprayer where we can see the Fieldmaster logo, which is where the GPS screen would be if we were running. And I want to tap in there to start off. Once I've tapped in there, some of the screens are a little bit temperamental and probably need a couple of taps to get through to the actual field itself. Now in here, what I'm looking to do is down at the bottom right hand side of your screen, you'll see a zigzag. What I want to do now is tap on that zigzag, and in here, I'm going to the fields icon. So there's plenty of other icons in there, but in all fairness, we don't need to touch any of those. Just tap on the fields icon in here. Now, what we're looking to do is to try and find, let me see whether I can get the camera a little bit more steady. Apologize for my unruly camera skills. So here we have back of stackyard, which has come through from when I created the field. Okay, now that we have our field selected, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap on view to view this particular job. Now, the job itself, I've got stackyard in there. I've got VR, which won't actually show me anything whatsoever. But if I tap on go here, what it's going to do is it's going to launch that particular plan. So if I tap go on there, what it's now doing is it's calculating and converting that shapefile into a usable map or prescription, shall we say, to be able to go to the field and actually variably rate apply our nitrogen in this case. So okay, so whilst it's buffering, I did just have a quick check to see whether it was usable, which doesn't matter because it's now buffered. So if we tap in where it says back of stackyard, which is our field name, tap on here. This is where we're going to launch the variable rate aspect. So where it says toggle, I want to toggle so that that top toggle says the source is VR map. Now, that'll give us a boundary, but the next stage of launching this variable rate application is in the second bit, the VR map. We need to just tap on here and choose the variable rate map that we want to overlay over our boundary. So in this instance, I'm going to select back of stackyard, tap that again. As I say, they are sometimes a little bit temperamental, but now I can see that I've got my variable rate plan. Every single element of that source, VR map and VR value, is actually populated. So now that we can see that every single element of my toggle screen is actually populated, you can see in the source that we have VR map. You can see VR map back of stackyard has been overlaid over the field boundary that we have. Also, we've also got the VR value that's in there as well. And we've got a preview of the application or the prescription that we've actually exported from Omnia in this instance. Now, one thing that I really wanted to touch on here is that when we're looking to utilize the variable rate application map, there might be certain elements that prevent us from doing so when we're uploading them. Some of the issues that I found with this particular device was that when I was uploading the applications under the spanner icon, I could upload the plan, not a problem. But when we went to the fields, because I didn't have a field that was named exactly the same as the application plan that we see here, then I had to create a field. Now, if we have our boundaries associated to our fields, which is I think where the legs fell off initially, is that what we're looking to do is we're going to have to rename our boundaries, our fields, so that they're an exact replica of what reside on the TMC screen and what resides within the Omnia platform or your incumbent variable rate supplier. So that will be a big stickler for a lot of you guys when you're trying to upload your plans, in the sense that if you don't have a boundary assigned to the field and your field names are incorrect, the plan doesn't have anything to link up to, which is why we've got source, VR map and VR value here. Okay, so now that we have everything in place, we have our source, we have our VR map and we have our VR value. What I'm looking to do now is I'm going to move back to the application screen, which when we get closer to the field, you should be able to see the application file overlaid on here. Now, when we go into the field itself, you will notice that when you set your sprayer going and start off up and down the field, we're in a position now where the rates will actually be managed by the prescription file that we've uploaded. So just whilst we're in this screen, the TMC with the Fieldmaster technology residing within it, when we look at the handbook states that we need SHP, SHX, DBF and a CPG file to be able to use variable rate prescriptions on this TMC screen. Let's debunk that right now, because there's a lot of these dealer networks and manufacturers that are actually saying that that's all it will use, and if you haven't got that, then that's all it's never going to work if you don't have that. Let's debunk that myth right now. We used a shapefile exported from Omnia Precision Platform, so the Omnia Digital Agronomy Platform, and it's just a generic shapefile, so SHP, SHX, DBF, and it's also got a PRJ file in it as well, which I believe is a project file. So there's 4 elements to my shapefile, and it's just a generic shapefile. That went up into the TMC screen, not a problem whatsoever, because we were able to upload it and we were able to view our variable rate application in here. Where the wheels fall off is that if you haven't got your USB stick renamed as Gatekeeper in capital letters, it will not work. Also, if your field name, look at back of Stackyard here, if the field name does not tally exactly with what you have on your sprayer as your sprayer boundaries, then it will not work. So get those two elements correct and we are laughing. Okay guys, well that's a wrap. A successful mission down here in Yorkshire. We've come out to the farm today with the view of putting a shapefile prescription for variable rate nitrogen into this particular sprayer. Now, yes, it threw some issues, and yes, if you don't get your field names right and if you don't format that USB stick correctly, you might come across some issues. But nevertheless, we're always here to help. So if you do have a machine like this, if you are struggling to upload some shape files or some ISO XML files into whatever bit of kit that you've got, give us a shout. We're always happy to come and help you understand the kit that you've got on farm, just to maximize its potential, especially in a year like this where we could potentially save some nitrogen on fertilizer applications throughout the season where there's stud water, but also we can help you to unlock that further potential so that we can target better yield, more consistent crop, better tillering. The list is endless, and it's just deemed as farmers good agricultural practice. So with that in mind, that's a successful trip today. I'm going to leave it at that. Until the next video, thank you very much for your support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next video. Thank you very much.